Welcome back to Easy Out Podcast. I'm Sarah, and with me this week, my co-host Megan. Congratulations, Megan.
Thank you.
Dodgers won the World Series. It's been a long week. It's been a very long week. Very sad. Season is over. We're going to talk about all of that. But first, we want to go ahead and bring our guest in. Tonight, we have Josh McAdams with us. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk all kinds of stuff. Where'd he go? Hey, Derek, bring him in. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we lost him again. Okay, well, we'll bring him in a minute. We'll start talking about the World Series. Crazy stuff.
It was fantastic. I won't lie. I mean, I wanted to. And does goes up and down, roller coaster of emotions. But yeah,
I feel like the NLCS still kind of tops it as far as like energy level goes, but it's hard to beat how good that series was. I mean, just back and forth and back and forth. Do we dare say like, well, I mean, everybody is saying it, game changing moment, pulling Snell. Like, I know you're a Dodgers fan, but how do you feel about that?
I was mad for him, to be perfectly honest. When they pulled him, I went, yo, what? Like, I said it out loud. And I don't agree with it at all. Obviously it did well for us, but it maybe we would have still hit him, because I mean our bats were kind of continuously hot like the whole time. But but I was mad for him because he was having a better game than the first time that he pitched, and I don't think he should have been pulled, but that's just me.
I think everybody in the world agrees. Hey, there he is. There's our guest. Oh, now we can't hear you. Oh, no. Try it again.
Wait.
Oh, there he went.
You just need to keep popping up and down. It's fine.
For anybody that is wondering, Inky says we're looking our best for tonight's guest.
Yeah, thank you. That's
fine. No, for anybody that's wondering, Josh is down in Atlanta, and of course, they had all those storms down there. Now, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a little bit delayed, but we can hear you, so I'll take it.
All right.
We were discussing the World Series while we were waiting for your technical issues.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So give us your thoughts. We were just talking about how obviously pulling Snell, worst move that the Rays could have made in Game 6.
Yeah, I mean, the Rays themselves, they kind of thrived on analytics the entire year in, going with the matchups and stuff like that. And, I, as much of a baseball purist as I am, and as much as I wanted to see him stay in the game, he was almost in the exact same scenario in Game 2, like almost the identical situation. So, and with 2 outs, and I want to say the 6th inning, he gave up 3 runs or 2 runs or something like that. So, I mean, and it was coming up through the 3rd time in the order. So, I mean, in a way I can understand, but at the same time, as a purist, dude's freaking dealing. Leave the guy in there. He's wanting to battle it out. Winner take all. I mean, not winner take all, but they got to win the game. Ride your horse out, and I mean, so it's kind of you can see both sides of it. They kind of want to ride what's got them there with analytics, but at the same time, like, dude's dicing, so leave the guy in there.
I think that's what everybody on the planet said. Exact same thing. So. Oh, now we've got an echo.
Oh,
is it you?
Was it me?
I mean, I think it was. The headphones. I hope it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got his headphones on. It shouldn't be him. I don't know, maybe even been me. Who knows? This is a fun night. This is a night full of
technology hates us.
It's okay. I don't mind if technology hates me. I think everybody on the planet kind of felt that way. Do you feel like, both of you, do you feel like if this is 10 years ago, there it is again. Do you feel like if this is 10 years ago that we see that happen? Do they pull him or do they let him ride?
10 years ago, they ride him out for 100 pitches at least. 100%. Like, they're not letting him go anywhere. I mean, especially with as well as he's pitching, like, he's going maybe even 115. Like, yeah, until he gets into trouble. 2 hits? I mean, come on. That's
I mean, they left Glasnow out there and just let him die at 110, 112 pitches. But
the poor man.
Just leave that man hanging out there. And then they're going to pull Snell at 73 like it's the end of the world. Like, I don't know. Very questionable decision making. Happy ending for Dodgers fans everywhere. And the beginning of a very long 4 months for the rest of us.
A good question is, though, coming in 4 years in a row, coming so close, do you think a 6-game season kind of helped them get over the hump, or like what? Like, what do you think?
See, that's something that I have wondered a lot. And anybody is going to be hyped if your team wins that. And so I'm not going to knock anybody for winning anything in a 60-game season. But the biggest question I think I saw was, does Kershaw still pitch like this after extended wear and tear of a full season?
True.
Yeah, that's what I people that now I'm echoing. Is it me?
I think it might be.
What do I press? Like
your volume. You're just going to turn your volume down a little bit.
I don't know.
Not normally how this goes.
I'm sorry.
That was a point that it's not you. It's usually always me. It's fine. No, it's not. But I made I've made a point about that before. People were like, "Oh, well, postseason Kershaw," and I was like, "But it's kind of after All-Star break Kershaw,
yeah.
Because that's how many games kind of that were you get into after that, and that's when he's always in his prime. I mean, he was good. He was good both games. I mean, it wasn't like, I think he still has pressure on him because they're like, oh, well, it's still the postseason. But every time I was like, yeah, but it's kind of not.
Yeah.
So maybe it had an advantage on that. But I mean, you still never know. I don't know.
I guess we'll see what happens next year. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The grind of 160 games is so much. I mean, that's 100 games they didn't play. It's 100 games.
Mm-hmm.
The guys are a lot healthier. The bodies are a lot more a lot more intact, and guys are just ready to play. I mean, like, it made for a better series and a better postseason, I feel like, because it was a lot more competitive. But at the same time, like, you don't really get to see that grit, because like at the end of the season, especially that being that long of a season, normally you see a lot more passion and a lot more like grind. I feel like, I don't know how to describe it, but like you really truly feel like you guys just killed each other for half of a year instead of a month and a half, 2 months. So.
Yeah, I think that's where you see like mental toughness really at the end of that.
Exactly.
And I think everybody, I think that everybody was just happy that baseball was happening. So that makes, I what you said, like they were still really it made it really competitive. Like as soon as the postseason happened, because they let more teams in, and so there was like more. I feel like it was. And everybody's been saying this, that it's harder because you have more teams now and you're playing more games in the postseason. But I think everybody was just also happy to just be playing baseball. I know that has nothing to do either with but the mentality, I guess, of it. So they were just happy to be on the field. Right. So maybe mentally it made it. I don't know. That was a ramble. Sorry. It made more sense in my head.
So we've already got like news. Like there's already postseason news. We're 2 days out, and we've already got like the White Sox hiring Tony La Russa. The big question I think is like, how is this old school manager going to work with like these very young new school type players? Like, is this a good fit? Is this going to be like a dumpster fire? Like, what do we think about this?
I feel like it's going to be a year of getting used to it. I don't think it's going to be right off the rip. It's going to, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like Tony La Russa is a very good like team guy. He meshes well with the players. Obviously, I mean, I never played for him, so I mean, I don't know, but just seeing the way that these older guys respond to him, I do think that they'll probably bring in one or two vets like an offseason that'll kind of help. I'm sorry, there's a guy just doing donuts in this parking lot right now. No, I feel like I think it'll be a learning curve for both him and the players, but it's definitely something that I think they'll come out the better end of.
Like I'm just curious to see like how, like, the game is a lot flashier, I think, than the last time that La Russa managed. So that I think that's probably the biggest thing I'm curious to see is like how he's going to handle. Like
I will say, I really am curious to see how he's going to handle Tim Anderson's antics. Like that's going to be a sight to behold. Like, is he going to be chill with it, or is he going to whip him into shape? Like that's something I'm curious to see for sure.
I think I mean I hope he's cool with it, because as much as like I know like a lot of baseball purists hate the bat flip and hate this and I love it. Give it to me all day long. Like I'll take it. I love it. I think it's fun. It makes the game more exciting. So I hope he doesn't come in and try to take that away from them.
Right. I don't think he'll take it away. I think he'll try to definitely tone it down.
Tone it down.
Now you can still be a boss and still like show some class at the same time.
Not bat flip it to the moon every single time, I guess.
I mean, every time, yeah. You can, if it's a clutch situation, then by all means, it's the first pitch of the game, bro. Chill out, like relax.
Like, yeah, we know you hit it out. It'll be fine.
Calm down.
If you just walked, like, calm down. That happened once.
I know.
Someone in San Diego did it during the NLDS. I can't remember who it was.
Kent says, how long has La Russa been out of the game? Kent, I don't even know. I thought about that earlier, and I didn't even have time to look.
40 years, maybe more.
I don't know.
I think did he leave when Pujols left, or did he leave after Pujols left?
That's a really good question, because the last couple of years have been kind of a blur for me as far as baseball goes.
I think it's like including this year. It's been like 5 years.
That sounds right.
I think this is 34.
No, not managed. I was going to say, I know it's been more recent than that. We're still echoing here. Oh, do you have, I'm trying to think what may be causing that. Does somebody have the feed open on something else?
No.
Okay.
Trying
to figure out what's making it echo. Yeah.
I have it in Google Chrome.
Oh, make sure that's turned down. That might be the problem.
So what's turned down?
If you have the feed on in another screen, that might be causing our issue.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Josh.
Sorry.
You were drafted by the Indians in 2012, correct? Did we lose you? Oh, no, I can't hear you again. Crap. Well, we were just about to get into talking about Josh's baseball experience, but we'll do that when he comes back. So, have you seen, let's see, Brad Hand?
Mm-hmm.
They waved him. Do we have you back now? I still can't hear you. There it is. I heard something. I mean, I can hear your microphone, but I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
It says he's returning to the dugout for the first time since 2011.
Okay, so that's longer than I thought.
I can't do math today, so
I see this. I hear nothing.
Can you hear me?
There we go. There you are.
All right. Might suck.
Did you really have to open your car here so we can hear you?
Is that better?
Well, now we're getting a lot of echo.
All right. I'm gonna turn it off. All right. There we go. We're better. We're back.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so now we get to talk about you.
Oh,
So you
boy.
drafted by the Indians in 2012, right?
Yeah.
So do you have like a fun how you found out you got drafted story? Because I know like Dallas Braden's draft story is hilarious. Or were you just like chilling at home and you get the call that, hey, they want you?
I kind of had a dramatic little draft story, I guess. I was told by like I had a lot of attention at high school. I was very raw as a big kid at a high school, like 6'4", 215. I was a lot of raw talent. I was very unrefined though. And so I had maybe 15 teams that were interested off the bat, but a lot of them were hesitant because of my unrefinedness. And I had 2 young scouts that told me straight up that, you're not going to last past the 4th round. So I was like, awesome. I had that in my head. I was super excited about it. And so when draft day came, I had a huge draft party with all my friends, and a bunch of family came into town, because anything can happen. You can get drafted high or low or whatever. And first day went by, nothing happened. Didn't get any phone calls. Second day came, and I got a couple phone calls from my agent and also a couple scouts that were just trying to get a feel of what I was feeling, like, hey, would you take this in this round, this, that, blah, blah. And so I got calls in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, all from different teams asking me if I would take significantly lower than the slot, because the 2012 was the first year of the slot, like the money slot. And so they were all asking me would you take this, this, and this, and it was all significantly lower than what was designated for those slots. And so I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to college, screw that, I can just get more money out of college. And so I told everybody no. And the last call I had before I left my house was in the 6th round by the Rockies. And they had asked if I would take, set amount of money. And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm just going to go to college. So I started driving to my travel ball game. I was playing down in Atlanta. And on the way there, I was all just tore up, just, super sad. And I get there and I start warming up, and I go out to right field where I was playing, and I come back in, and my coach was like, hey man, you're out of the game. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I've never been pulled from a game in my life. He was like, you're not my property no more, man. You belong to somebody else. He said you just got drafted by the Indians. I don't want you to get hurt and this, that, and the other if you decide to play. So that's how I found out, pretty much, was my travel ball coach told me in the middle of a game that, you don't belong to me no more, kid. You belong to the Indians.
Benched you and gave you the boot.
I was like, all right, man, cool deal. So it was kind of cool, but kind of, at the same time, it's always great to be drafted. Obviously, there's the kids in the country that would love that opportunity, but having some young scouts kind of make me some false promises kind of made it a bummer for me. But at the end of the day, I was super grateful.
Yeah. So, and you were in the Indians organization for 5 years?
No, I signed in 2012 and I was released at the end of 2015. So
Okay.
I played 4 seasons, but
that's where I got 5. I was like, I know I saw 5 somewhere at the end.
Yeah, played 4 seasons, but I had a decent amount of surgeries along the way, so I kind of got messed up. Got a metal plate in my hand, a new elbow, tinkered with my hamstring a couple times. So
got the bionic man over here. Do you feel like a human lightning rod?
I do. I quit football in high school because I was afraid I was going to get hurt and like ruin my baseball, career. And I've gotten hurt significantly more playing baseball than I have ever playing football. So that's kind of a regret of mine. Don't tell nobody, but yeah, I really do wish I would have kept playing football in high school, but it is whatever.
I mean, it happens. It
does.
Hindsight, I suppose. So then tell us, like, after you were released by the Indians, kind of what path did you take as far as baseball goes at that point?
So I got released. I had Tommy John, and so I sat out all of 2016 rehabbing. And so in 2016, I pretty much played a lot of softball. I played a lot of slow pitch softball and just kind of used that as my rehab, like running around, tracking fly balls, the stuff like that, throwing. And it actually strengthened my elbow quite significantly, got me back ready to go. And then in 2017, I signed with the Frontier League team up in Ohio in the Frontier League and played with them for the year. Did all right, hit okay. And then I decided I wanted to change positions and decided to start catching. So I went to a different independent team. Yeah. A team in Detroit called the USPBL. And it's a 4-team like developmental league for a lot of young kids out of college that don't really get any opportunities to play pro ball, but they go there, develop their skills, and try to get in front of a lot of scouts. And they've had really good success with it. So I went up there, tried to catch. I liked it, caught really well, and played really, really good. Got a lot of looks. So I talked to the Twins for a little bit, and they wanted me to get some more at bats. So I went to the American Association, which is a different independent league team or league, and I played in a team in Canada. And they had me playing first and third and outfield and stuff like that. So I started moving all over the field again. And then the following year, I went to a different indie league team in Atlantic League, and which the Atlantic League is compared to like AA and AAA as far as independent league status. And I played. I was a role player there. I was one of the youngest guys on the team, and that did me a lot of good. I felt like as far as maturity wise, like playing with nothing but AAA and big league guys that they really made me hone in my skills a little bit and mature mentally and whatnot. And there I played 7 positions. I played 7 positions. I played everywhere on the field except for middle infield because I'm too slow to be doing that junk. But
I feel that.
We do have a question for you over here in the comments. Inky's asking if you ever played for the Burlington Royals.
I did not, no.
Or were they, and then he says, were they still Burlington Indians at that time? So
no, I didn't play Burlington. So the affiliates that were with the Indians were Rookie Ball, which was in Arizona, Mahoney Valley, which was in the New York Penn League. That was short season. Low A was in Lake County, Ohio. And you had High A in Lynchburg, Virginia, and AA was in Akron, and AAA was in Columbus, Ohio. So all their affiliates were pretty much in Ohio, except for High A, which was in Lynchburg.
All right. And I saw you were saying something the last time I saw you doing a live about coaching in New Zealand.
So I played in New Zealand. I played in the ABL out there. It's their big leagues. And it was the most fun I've ever had in my life. Like, it was unbelievable just being able to play out there and have just like the support of an entire country because they don't have baseball out there. And just being like surrounded by those people that are just obsessed with the sport because it's so new and they just think it's awesome was the most incredible experience I've ever had. But I did coach some young kids in Perth, Australia when I was out there for a little bit. And those kids are funny, man. They love the sport and they really want to learn just because there's not a lot of people out there that really know how to teach that baseball in general. But no, that was a very good experience. I wish I could go back soon.
That's so what did you enjoy more, like, after you got that little bit of coaching experience? Of course it's with younger players, but do you enjoy playing more or would you jump more into coaching?
it's kind of one of those things where, like, I'm slowly edging into it, but I still get the high of playing. So I don't know. I mean, I love seeing like kids that I truly love the sport be successful, and knowing that I had a hand in it is really, really uplifting. And I guess I like watching. I like the 14 to 17 range. Like those kids really, really like. That's when they fall in love with it, And so to be part of that is really, really like really awesome. So if I can coach those kind of kids and maybe on in college a little bit, break through those egos of those college kids, and maybe I do that one day. But I still love playing. I love playing so much.
So you didn't play this year. Obviously, there was not much of a season, so you sat this year out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to take a second and go kind of back in time for you. You had mentioned to me that you played travel ball with a certain shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, and I think you should tell us some more about that.
So me and Dansby played together. Me and Dansby played together when we were 14. His dad was our coach, and his dad actually is the one who transitioned me from infield to outfield. He pulled me aside one day and was like, "Hey, man, like, you're a big kid. You could play third if you want to, but I really think you could get drafted and make a lot of money if you go to the outfield." So I was like, "I'm all about money. Let's go." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I have to actually credit my career moving forward. I've passed my 14U year to Dansby's dad, Cooter Swanson. So I played with Dansby. So we played with him when I was 14. I can't remember. I think a little bit when I was 15, and then 17 and 18. And yeah, he was probably one of the most amazing defensive shortstops ever. I'm not gonna lie, he surprised everybody that knew him when he was younger, when he went to Vanderbilt and absolutely just decided he wanted to be the most amazing hitter in college ever. It was crazy. Like he was always a good contact hitter. He always got on base. He always did his job. But his sophomore year in college, he flipped a switch.
He blew up. Yeah.
Nowhere. Like it was something cool to see. And I'm always very proud of him, and I love him to death. And I haven't been able to talk to him much, but like these days, but he's always been a good guy, and I'm very happy for him.
You knew that. I was going to ask you about that. We've already talked about it before, but I mean, I had to.
Everybody loves Dansby. He's got the flow, the beard. He's got it all. I'm not going to say. I would be very bad of me to lie about it. Like when I watched his debut, I got so emotional that in a very happy but yet like selfish reasons, like damn, I should be there too with him, like and then I was with him for the time we were 14 to 18 years old, playing with each other every summer, and then him going off to college and developing and just becoming so like refined and mature and on and off the field, like, and then knowing like damn, like I got the heck beat out of me, and I just never could put it together. It was really emotional. I was so happy for him, but that it was one of those things like damn, I should be there too, but
now, okay, so now that you said that kind of triggers another question. Like, does that make you, like, seeing how he developed in college, does that make you kind of wish that you would have gone and played college ball instead of going straight in?
That's the question I ask myself every day. Something I struggle with on the reg, but like I feel like there's a reason for everything, and like you can always ask what if, like what if I went to college and been a first rounder? What if I went to college and I broke my hand or broke my pelvis? I don't know, something like I could have ruined my career by doing it, so I mean, you never know, anything could have happened. I will say, I put myself in really good positions for my future, as far as meeting people and having just marketing myself on and off the field, and just being a good, I guess, teammate. And even though I didn't have the best career, I feel like I always did a good job of staying in good So I now have a position to further my career outside of baseball if I want.
That's a good answer. Do you find yourself like, you said when Dansby debuted, you were sitting there going, man, I should be there too. Like, do you find yourself like, as I guess when you were playing in the Indians organization, did you find yourself like seeing somebody get called up to the next level, or somebody get called up and be like, man, come on?
Yeah, half their team in 2016, I knew. I knew. I was like, me and Tyler Naquin were best friends for like a couple of years. Like he gave me the most he gave me my Snapchat. I hate, and I don't know. I wish I could change, but I can't.
Everybody has that regret. Like you picked your Snapchat name when you were like way too young to be responsible for choosing something you were going to be stuck with for the rest of your life.
Oh, and like I have my Snapchat name to Tyler Naquin, and then I played with Ramirez very briefly with Lindor. I knew Urshela. He's with the Yankees now. I played with him in spring training for a full year, like for a full spring training. It was awesome. Eric Haas is a catcher for the Tigers now in the big leagues. I played with him for almost a full season in low A. JP Fireheisen, he's with the Brewers now, or relief. It's crazy to see like so many different people that I know and just grew up with playing in the organization with Cleveland. They're all just thriving in the bigs, and it's awesome. And it's really awesome. Like I'm gonna be that old guy in the bar one day, just be like, I play with him. It's all good. Couldn't be happier for them though, for real. Like they're great guys. Every single one of them.
I applaud you for that mentality too, because I know that a lot of the time you can get really like down on yourself for that. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it took me a minute.
right.
It took me a minute to feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to one of those points where I was like, you know what, like I don't have a time machine, like you see those things I don't know if anybody's ever seen those things on Facebook, like what pill would you take? Would you $1 million? All right, you skip to when you're 45 and have $50 million, or go back to when you're 15 years old and say with all the knowledge you have now. I would go back to when I was 15 immediately. With everything that I know now, just about how to be, a refined, human being, and all the baseball knowledge and everything like that, 100% would go back to when I was 15, and then just relive it all.
I mean, I'd go back, but it's only because I can think of like all these new fun ways that I would just totally screw my entire life up.
Oh yeah,
I'd screw it up again. It'd just be a lot more fun this time.
Yeah, I would know how to get away with things a little bit easier.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I have a question. What, like moving forward into next year, depending on kind of where the state of everything is, what are your plans for next year?
So as of right now, my contract is still good for the Atlantic League, the same time last year. So I mean, as of right now, that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm actually currently in the process of moving to Birmingham, Alabama, to work with I guess you could say like a world-renowned hitting coach. Like he's a private instructor, works with his pride and joy is DJ LeMahieu. Like he works with DJ. So yeah, him and DJ are really good, like with each other. Like they help each other out. And his other guys, Michael Chavis with the Red Sox, and so he's got some studs that work with him. So I'm gonna go out there and learn under him and hit with him every day. And if I put myself in a position that I feel comfortable that I want to go back, because I mean I didn't play baseball a year. I think I've played like 5 men's league games. That's about it. Like I've played a crap load of softball, but I mean that's nothing compared to like 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. So
I was gonna say that big yellow ball coming in off the guy that's had 7 beers is a little bit different.
Different for sure. So I mean, if I can put myself in a position working with Casey in Birmingham, then I think I'll probably go back for a year, 2. I don't know, just depending on how I do or how I feel. Just because, like last year, I feel like was probably my last chance of probably trying to get back into affiliated ball as far as being a position player. And obviously didn't play this year. So I'm losing pretty much 2 years of, I'm like 27 is ancient. And I don't think I'm going to get much of a chance unless I hit 400 with 40 homes, So, I mean, like, that's just not, it's not going to happen.
I mean, if you're going to go and hit like DJ LeMahieu, you never know what could happen.
Never know.
See, I just had something I was going to say and I completely forgot what it was.
I do that.
Oh, yeah. No, you said 27 is ancient. Like, I get the biggest, like, and it drives me nuts because I'm 37. Like, people will talk about how old Cole Hamels is or how Josh Donaldson was too old for a 5-year deal. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I know. That's what sucks about the sport in a lot of ways, though, is that, like, unless you have some sort of track record where, you've been successful for 5 years, you're not going to get that extra couple of years of, of interest from teams,
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy, for instance, there's a guy in the league last year in the Atlantic League, AAA baseball equivalent. Like, he's hitting off guys throwing 95, 96. And he put up 40 home runs in a 140 game season. 40 home runs. That's
shit.
That's pretty daggum good. And he hit,
those are good numbers anywhere.
I know. I'm pretty sure he hit 315, maybe 315 with 40. Like, and he didn't get picked up, didn't get signed, and he was only 29. And I'm like, dude, come on! Like, what do you got to do? And I'm over here hitting 280. With I don't think I had like maybe 8 home runs, 10. I'm like, I'm screwed. Like, I'm never up again. So, like, I mean, I thought about pitching, and just trying to chunk cheese and see if, like, I can get back in that way. But I think I could probably, if I was to just go all out, I could probably touch 94. I think I could even come close, and that's just a dime. Everybody and their mother throws 94 in the minor league. So
yeah. Now you have to, it's crazy like how much it's changed because, a few years ago you were hearing like 95, 96, and that was unreal. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And now it's like, oh, you can't throw 102.
Yeah. Like,
what's wrong with you?
Every single reliever you saw come out of the bullpen in the World Series was throwing 95 to 100. Like, that's just insane. That was 95 is literally like a 90-mile-an-hour change. Like, it's nothing to these guys. When Max Muncy turned on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball inside, I was like, this game's too much for me. I can't. I will never be able to do that.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna go put my glove up now.
It's
been fun. I'm gonna go to work. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just, unless, I mean, you've got those guys like Nelson Cruz and Albert Pujols, and it seems like they just keep going somehow, but it's nothing anymore to meet like a 34-year-old, 35-year-old that's been out of the league for 5 or 6 years. And they're like, well, I just got too old. And that's like,
yeah, you
what? Like, nobody's going to college anymore. You're picking these guys up when they're like 16 and 17. And
I mean, unless you're, I don't ever like talking about it in the forum because I feel like it's such an excuse. But minor league baseball has become, and it has been, so much and who's in your corner. Like, there is half of the organizations all have minor league coaches that are all in on 1 or 2 players, and they will ride or die with them until the day they both, either the coach gets fired or the player gets released. And there's guys that hit maybe 270, not a lot of power, not a lot going for them, but because they have people backing them up and they have people in their corner, they stick around over guys that might be a little bit better than them, but don't have anybody else that are really vouching for them, And as much as I thought that I was, a great teammate and a great guy in the clubhouse, and I always was, on everybody's good side, I never really had a coach or coaches that would truly go to war for me, or like you really have my back. And I thought I had two. I had two coaches that just loved me, and they all left. They both one went to the Dodgers, one got, I think he just retired. So I was like, all right. So like it's just, I didn't have anybody, like even on my down year, I think the worst year I had, they told me as an 18-year-old kid, like, we don't care how many times you strike out. Literally swing as hard as you can and try to hit as many home runs as you can. Didn't hit a single home run, and I struck out like a league leading 75 times. All right. I think I hit 196 or something like that. But I mean, I still had that guy in my corner. Like, he was there. Always vouching. He was like, you're going to come out of it. You're fine. Just trust the process. You're 18 years old. It's fine. It's okay. And the next year I came back, did really well, but he moved, like he left. And so I didn't have anybody there to really, motivate me and stay there with me and, vouch for me. But that's just how minor league baseball is. It's how every organization is. Like, the way you move up, high round draft pick, bonus baby, like a international bonus baby, or you have somebody that truly vouches for you or has your back, or, and I guess there's a fourth way, where you just literally hit 380 and make them move you up. Like, that's just, there's very limited ways. You can't just coast through the minor leagues hitting 280 with 10 home runs every year, because you're going to get released. It sucks. It so sucks. Unless you do something absolutely outstanding on a regular basis, you're going to get released.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I remember being younger and like hearing, like, we had a they were semi-pro is what they called it when I was a kid. Now it's just collegiate league. We had a team in my hometown, and you would hear those guys talking, and it was like single A, double A, triple A. That was how you got to where you were going. And now it's like low A, high A, rookie ball, this, that. And like, there's so many organizations to work your way through that, I mean, I feel like a lot of players just kind of get lost in the shuffle of all of that.
They really do. They really do. And you see it with the Rays. Like, there's so many analytics now. You could have a guy hit 300 and have minimal walks, but he's hitting 300 with maybe 15 home runs. A lot of teams won't, unless he's getting on base on a regular basis. They're not going to pick him up. They're not going to keep him around. They don't give a shit. They don't care about.
You're good, dude. Believe me, we say all kinds of stuff on here.
Sorry. I mean, they don't care about, run production necessarily. They care about how often are you getting on base. So unless you're hitting 30 home runs a year, they don't care. Like, all they care about is on base percentage and how often are you going to, like. That's why I feel like so many guys that play the game so well that aren't getting opportunities because of the analytics part of it.
Like, it's, it's the number of statistics now. It's like, there's no way to even begin to memorize half of what you see on that sheet. Like, if you look through somebody's stat sheet, like, you go to Fangraphs, that's like a whole nother language. And even though I know what all that stuff means, like, combing through it, I'm just over here like, what? Like, what is this? Where did all this crap come from? Like, what happened to it's this, and this is how we measure you. Now it's like, I don't know. It's just so crazy now. I guess it is what it is. I'm not a huge fan of analytics, but do your thing, MLB. You screw everything else up too. So
becoming nuts. You got guys that are like unbelievable hitting coaches. They know everything they're talking about. And you have guys coming straight out of college that have never played the game of baseball ever, and they're getting minor league hitting coach jobs over these other guys because of they know how to read a computer and they know how to read this information better than these other guys.
That's just mind-blowing to me. I don't understand that. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe that's like the old school side of me. I don't get it. I don't know why you wouldn't want the person with the experience over the guy that can go, all right, so this is what your stat line, like, and the way that they're measuring stuff. Like, I don't know. Did you ever see the video of like Tucker Davidson all hooked up to all the shit pitching in his underwear off of a flat, like level mound?
I'm not. I mean, like that's going in depth on like mechanics, not
Yeah.
analytics, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like analytics have gotten so insane, and then you have so many new ways to like track your development with your mechanics and your health. And like I know Trevor Bauer was talking about how he wears one of those Aura rings
Yeah.
and had dialed his body in to the point that he felt like he could pitch on 3 days rest all the time.
Wow.
I was like, okay, go blow your arm out. Have fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm campaigning for him to come to Atlanta, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do what I got to do.
I don't
But
know how warm of a welcome he'll have, but you know,
I don't. It's so split. Like you see fans talking about it, and it's like half of them. Like I'm in the group that's like, give him the money, bring him in, bring him in. Like, can you imagine like Soroka, Freed, Anderson, Bauer, Kyle Wright? Like,
that'd be nasty. I'm not gonna lie. As far as his production and his on the field play, 100% love the guy. I love the way he works. He plays the game really hard and really well. This dude's a weirdo. Like he's a freaking weirdo. Like I've always had a sour taste in my mouth from 2016 when homie got selfish and was out playing with his toys and about ruined. He tore his hand up playing with some toys instead of staying inside, focusing on what he's got to do. You know, like that's just like that rubbed me the wrong way. Super selfish. Super selfish.
huh? I remember that story, and I remember just being like, he did what? Like,
Exactly. He did what?
I mean, I guess I don't know. It seems like people have all kinds of weird, random shit happen to them as far as.
I know it just happens. I know it wasn't on purpose or anything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But when you're playing with a drone and like, come on now. Like,
I mean, this is also the guy that chucked the ball over the. Thank God that ball cleared the center field wall. Can you imagine how much shit he would have gotten if he hadn't made it?
the funniest part of that entire video is the center fielder not knowing what was going on and just turns around like, what the like, that was the most insane thing ever. And then he just taps Tito on the shoulder like, I'm sorry. I apologize. What? What are you talking about, dude? Own it. If you're gonna do something like that, just be like, all right, F you, I'm out of here. Like own it. Like
Sorry.
so much more bad A if he just chunked it and just walked off the mound, like instead of being all sorry about it. Like, come on.
Like, oh, my bad. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Like
that's like cardinal rule. Like if you slide into second base and you like take the second baseman out, don't sit there and apologize. Like it is what it is. Like it's part of the game. Go walk your sorry self back to the dugout. If you sit there and apologize to the guy, I think you're a big old no. Don't do that.
I mean, what about if you take him out like Max Muncy style and just completely? I mean, that looked like a. I'm not talking shit on Max Muncy. It looked like a football game out there for a second. I mean,
obviously, if you go overboard and
like,
you do stuff on purpose. Like, I would never cleat somebody, but I'd go shins high, try to take somebody out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go cleats high, try to hurt somebody, but I'll try to knock you on your ass, like, for sure.
I mean, got to do what you got to do. That's how I feel about it. Do your thing. So just a couple more things before we call it a night here. Now, having been a minor league player, I know there's a lot of talk about minor league pay right now. I mean, I already know I can tell from that expression what your opinion is. Like, what do you think happens to these guys with everything that has gone on this year, having the season canceled? Like, how do they remedy that and make it right for these kids?
I don't think there is necessarily a remedy, to be honest, because, like, I mean, half these guys, you know, they can't survive off of what no one can survive off of what we were getting paid monthly anyway. Like no one. Like every year I filed for taxes, I was significantly under the poverty line. Like it's obnoxious. We're not getting paid. We don't get paid in the off seasons anyway.
Yeah.
So it's always month to month through the season only. So most of these guys that are out of college that are senior signs, they have full-time jobs in the off season anyway, and they have to find their time to, do their training and develop and whatnot. So, I mean, it's just, I guess on a mental scale, these guys that haven't been playing or haven't been able to play throughout the year, working nonstop for an entire year until the season starts next year, I guess I can see in a lot of ways. I mean, it did with me. Like it wore me down. Like that's the most I've ever worked consecutively in my life outside of baseball. So I mean, it's been a grind. This has been the longest year of my life. Like it's been so long, and it's only freaking November. Like it's not even November yet. Like I feel like it's literally been a year and a half since I last played baseball. So it's I don't know if there is a remedy, to be honest. And kudos to, who was it, the Blue Jays or whoever it was that paid their minor leagues kids or minor league players the season salary regardless.
I know there were a lot of organizations, like some paid through like June and a couple paid through August. Like I think Atlanta paid through August.
Right.
I think they all kind of started getting pressured into doing that. And I mean, I know there's been this huge push to pay these kids at least a livable wage. Like nobody's saying pay them $1 million a piece, but
Right.
With them getting paid and the season being completely canceled and everything else, like, and then the threat of eliminating so many clubs coming from MLB, like what happens to all these kids?
A lot of them get weeded out. A lot of them you'll see a lot of people retiring. You'll see a lot of guys just calling it a day, especially with a lot of these teams being, cut. Like a lot of these minor league systems or minor league teams are being done with, like the entire New York Penn League is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these other lower level teams that are just gone. So like a lot of the people that they were going to fill those teams are just going to be like, yo, I'd rather just make money. And like, this is not worth it, and I guarantee you there'll probably be a couple hundred of retirements, and there'll be, I don't know. There'll be a lot of releases because guys are going to come back in spring training and they're not going to be ready because they just haven't had the time. I mean, quite honestly, if I wasn't taking this job in Birmingham, I'd probably have to retire too because like I have to make money. I have to provide for myself. So like if I wasn't going and doing this and putting myself in a position to where I could work and also train at the same time, then I'd have to hang him up as well. So I mean, like, unless that's why all like you see these first and second and top round guys make it so much more often than these lower level guys is because they are in positions that they have the signing bonuses enough to last them and live off of for a few years to where they can just grind it out every single day of the off season, and they come to spring training and you can tell who has to work and who doesn't have to work.
Yeah.
And then the guys that do have to work that come back and they're still prepared, those are the guys waking up at 4 a.m. doing workouts and then getting off of work, going to the cages by themselves and doing their work as well. Like those guys are a different breed. Like I think my last year of affiliated ball I was 21, and that's the year I actually decided like, hey, I gotta get up at 5:30 and actually do some stuff if I want to keep playing baseball. And it was just too late, like I had the drive and the motivation, but my goodness gracious, like, are you haunted?
I don't know, but there's someone laughing extremely loud, and it just scared the absolute crap.
I heard it, and I was like, I thought it was somebody's TV or maybe somebody outside of your car, or
it really was not.
The look on her face freaked me out. Like, oh my God.
Scared the crap out of me. Sorry.
Oh my God, what is that? Well, I was listening to you, and I heard that, and I was like, and then I look over, and she's like, What is happening?
Like if my heart just came out of my mouth a little bit, so it scared me so bad.
Oof.
Inky says it wasn't him.
It was, oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. Cool.
In case you're wondering, Josh, we have a member of Braves Twitter who is it's Inky the Pac-Man ghost, the little blue. He joins us every week. There he is. He joins us every week on the show and hangs out with us. He's a lot of fun. He loves everybody. So
Good thing.
that's why you keep hearing me say Inky. That's our little ghost friend that hangs out on the show with us. It's probably our most loyal viewer.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
So last thing I was going to ask you about, just kind of your thoughts on it. I know like there's several organizations that are moving to help kind of fund youth sports with everything that's going on. Travel ball is something, if you're not playing travel ball, a lot of people, I mean, it just does. It decreases your chances of being seen. What are the other options for these kids that are kind of getting caught up in this can't afford it sort of situation now?
Wow. Yeah, travel ball is pretty much the big way to get seen as far as, like amateur wise. I mean, going to a well-known high school, I mean, honestly, it's tough. It's tough not being able to be on a travel ball team that is going to tournaments and stuff like that. I was very blessed. I was very fortunate that, I couldn't afford any of it. I couldn't afford to be on any travel ball team I was ever on. But because of the people that I knew on these teams that I was friends with, and being blessed with the ability to be decent at baseball, like these coaches would actually let me play, and I didn't have extravagant gear. I didn't have all, like, if they had team bags, I didn't have one of those. I would have the jerseys, the pants, and stuff like that, but I played because I didn't have the extra. That makes sense. I was allowed to be on the team and travel and play, and I would always carpool with people and stuff like that. So I was very blessed in that aspect, and I was able to be seen that way. But honestly, the best thing I can think of is, if you can't afford it, you gotta put yourself out there. Social media these days is so valuable. Like, make a hype tape or something like that, or email these coaches, email these scouts and stuff like that, or go to these local hitting facilities, because there's always a hitting coach that wants to find that diamond in the rough. If someone comes to me and I think they got a shot, or they have an ability to play even at a JUCO, I will push scouts and people that I know in their direction. I'll be like, hey, like, check this kid out for me, like, even if you don't like him, man, at least go take a look at him. Find somebody on their schedule that they play that you actually might like, so you can go see him as well. It's just, if you want it, you have to go and put yourself in a position to go find it, like, even if you don't have a travel ball organization that you can go play with, like, you can find somebody that knows somebody that put in a word for you. I mean, that's the best I can advise. Like, it's really tough these days though, like, not being able to play on some sort of travel organization. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's definitely like, and I asked that because you did play travel ball. Now, do you feel like, you said social media, do you feel like if social media had been where it is now 5 or 10 years ago while you were playing travel ball, well 10 years ago while you were playing travel ball, 5 years ago you were not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it might have helped me a little bit, but at the same time, like, the tournaments, like, so there's a tournament in Jupiter, Florida that is huge. So every fall, right around this time, honestly, there's a tournament in Jupiter, Florida that I want to say like 100 teams go and play all over the country. from all over the country. They go play in Jupiter, and it's the most incredible sight you've ever seen when it comes to scouts. Like, there's hardly any fans. It's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scouts. Like, it's almost looks like a stadium full of just scouts. And so I went there 2 back-to-back years. I got invited on 2 different teams. One as a PO the first year, and I got to actually play some outfield, and I showed off a little bit out there. Got a couple balls hit to me, then I unleashed, and just from those 2 throws from the outfield, I actually had a couple colleges come and talk to me after that. And the following year, I played third, and I got 2 college offers almost on this, like right off the spot almost. And so I mean, because of those is where I kind of got my exposure from. And then I went to a pretty prominent high school up in North Georgia, even though it's in the middle of nowhere. Charlie Culberson actually went to my high school, and yeah. And then Josh Smoker went to my high school as well, who I played in the big leagues briefly for the Pirates and the Pirates, Tigers, and the Mets. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that came out of my high school, so it kind of helped as well. But
yeah, if they know, I mean, if they're already looking there, you have a better chance of being seen there.
Right. And then it did help that my last year I played with Dansby on the number 1 18U team in the country. So that kind of helped too.
You know, that never hurts. Never hurts at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, we want to thank you for joining us. I mean, I know you had some technical difficulties, but we appreciate you sticking it out with us in spite of those. Tell everybody like where they can find you on social media, like the platforms that you use.
Oh man, I'm on Instagram. I'm got a little funny thing going on TikTok too. But my handle is I should have put it on there, shouldn't I? It's Yoshi, YOSHII 137.
Derek, can you pop that up for us real quick so people can see that?
That's pretty much where I'm at on everything. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to, it's so frustrating though, is on TikTok, I try to throw out some baseball videos and stuff like that, and they don't get no love. They don't get all my other videos get love, but none of my baseball videos get love.
Well, I mean, I found you through one of your baseball videos.
Okay, that's good.
And then I saw the other fun stuff that you were doing. So
anyway.
So that was where I found you from.
Nice.
Some people see them. Well, I mean, it's so weird. TikTok's weird. So
my TikTok's all over the place, but my Instagram is all baseball.
Yeah.
It's kind of obnoxious how much my Instagram, but
never.
You can't get too much baseball. Okay, so there's your handle up for everybody. If you're watching, go and follow Josh, TikTok, Instagram, and this will be we'll spell it again for everybody that's listening on the podcast when this goes out in a couple of days. It's YOSHII 137. So go and give him a follow. Again, Josh, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Megan, pleasure as always. You thought you were in trouble. She looked at me like,
I've had a really long week. My brain is actual oatmeal, so you know, I'm sorry. Yeah,
okay, it happens.
Go Dodgers!
Congratulations on your team. Next week we'll be back with any more. I'm turning into my green screen right now. I better move. We'll be back with any more news we've got going on. People getting their options declined. If there's any signings, hirings, firings, all that fun stuff, we'll be looking at that. Kevin Cash, hope you still have a job next week. Josh, stick around for a second after the outro rolls. Don't totally close out of everything on us, please.
All right.
Derek, Kent, whoever's back there, cue the music.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the ball can be placed on my arms, to this playful assault, to this race in its arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water left with all